Hey Social Innovation Summit, Ayesha Curry here. Stefan and I are so sorry we couldn't be there with you all in person, but we're excited to be given the opportunity to talk about something that is near and dear to both mine, Stefan's, and our entire family's hearts, Eat, Learn, Play. We started Eat, Learn, Play back in 2019 because we saw the tremendous need that exists all around us. We want to do what we can to help improve the lives of kids and families in Oakland, the Bay Area, and across the country. The foundation is designed to help ensure an equal road to success for all children, focusing on three vital pillars of a healthy childhood: nutrition, education, and physical activity. Our investments and work in these issue areas meet kids where they are most often: in school, at home, and around their neighborhood. Stefan, myself, and our team at Eat, Learn, Play are committed to unlocking the amazing potential of every child by fighting to end childhood hunger and food insecurity, ensuring students have access to a quality education, including closing the literacy gap, all the while providing and increasing access to safe places for all children to play. While we're proud of what Eat, Learn, Play has accomplished thus far, we're very much looking ahead to how we can continue to grow the ways we serve the community across our three pillars. Our work is far from over, but we always say, if everyone pitches in to help those right there in their backyard, we can accomplish the impossible. Without further ado, on behalf of Stefan and myself, we are excited to introduce our Eat, Learn, Play colleagues, Chris Helfrich, CEO and President, and José Corona, VP of Program and Partnerships. Together, the two of them will talk a little bit more about our recent initiatives and what's coming down the pipeline. Thank you so much for the love and support, DC. We appreciate it. Thank you. It takes a village, and you're a part of that.
Take it away. All right. Well, it's that's a tough act to follow, and we're humbled and really excited to be here. So thank you. When we were beginning to build this foundation, Ayesha and Stefan were really adamant about three things that they wanted in a foundation. First was the focus on these issue pillars, and Ayesha just talked about it a little bit, and I don't have enough time to go into all of them. But childhood hunger, literacy, and access to safe places and opportunities to play were very important to them, and put together truly are key ingredients for a happy, healthy, and successful childhood. The second thing that they felt really strongly about was that first and foremost, our work is focused in their adopted hometown of Oakland, California. The Currys are not from Oakland originally, but they had been there for 10 years at this point, and it's where they, it's where they lived when they got married and had kids, and it's a community that really wrapped their arms around them, and they in turn wrapped their arms around Oakland. Oakland's a place with a ton of need as well, and they wanted to make sure that as the Warriors at the time were moving across the Bay Bridge to San Francisco, that Oakland was still taken care of. And then the third thing that they felt really strongly about was the name of the foundation. When their tax guy and their financial advisor submitted their 501c3 paperwork, they called it the Stefan and Ayesha Curry Family Foundation. And it was Ayesha who was like, absolutely not, that we are not going to have anything that has our name on it and doesn't say anything about the work that we do. And it was Stefan who chimed in. He's like, yeah, this is about impact and not legacy. And so those are three things that we've carried with us and continue to hold true to every day. But what the Currys didn't feel adamant about was how we go about having impact. They trusted us to build a high-quality team that could figure that out themselves and call on the Currys regularly for what we needed. Their promise was, we'll be there when you call on us, and they're very involved, but also we'll fund this entire foundation's operations, administrative, fundraising expenses for forever, so that every dollar that gets generated by donors goes right back out into the community. And so our unique challenge is, how do we maximize impact? The opportunity we have is to leverage, the Currys' voices, their unique and powerful platforms, their time, and all of this money to serve the community in a way that's authentic to them and that is focused on the community's true needs.
Yeah, and when he talks about quality team, he really means me. So he hired me, and it was one of the best choices that he made. But I'm kidding aside, we had a great strategy. We got started in 2019, and going into 2020, we had a great strategy. But obviously, we all know how COVID hit really hard, especially in communities like Oakland. And we actually found ourselves in a board meeting in March of 2020, talking about how you started hearing the buzz of COVID and more cases were coming up. And Ayesha was the one that said, what's going to happen when the 18,000 kids in Oakland School District that depend on their free and reduced lunch as their only meal, what's going to happen to them if all the schools get shut down? And sure enough, a couple weeks later, they shut it down. So we pivoted, and I think that's the flexibility that we had really quickly to activate exclusively on our EAT pillar. So we focused on making sure that these kids did not go hungry. And when we showed up to school districts at the distribution hubs, we saw not only the kids that went to school, but we saw entire families going and coming picking up food, and we saw droves of them. So we activated the partnerships with the Alameda County Community Food Bank, and then a call with, Ayesha's really good friends with Chef José Andres and his work with the World Central Kitchen. We quickly activated to enlist 132 restaurants who had been also shut down to reactivate their kitchens, feed our community. 2.5 million meals later, 25 million back into the community, into the restaurants, and allow them to rehire 850 of their employees is how we got creative around feeding our community. So that allowed us to really pivot really quickly, but more importantly, focus on the need that was the most pressing of our families at that time.
Yeah, and beginning to come out of that work that we did during the pandemic, helping to deliver millions of meals to those in need in our community, came the question of, okay, how do we adapt as this young foundation and continue meeting the needs of the community in really unique and dignified ways? One of the big learnings we had during the pandemic was meeting kids and families where they are. And so what you see up on the screens here is our effort to be meeting kids and families where they are in the coolest way possible. Rolling on the streets of Oakland now and possibly being a part of a championship parade in the near future is our Eat, Learn, Play bus, which when you go down the passenger side of the bus, it opens up to be a free mobile market where we're delivering hundreds of thousands of pounds of fresh produce, tens of thousands of restaurant meals directly to kids and families who need it the most. The driver's side opens up to be a free mobile bookstore for kids who are interested in learning and in learning how to be better readers. And we put a basketball hoop on it so that Stefan and the kids could get shots up too. But again, just part of our effort to meet kids and families where they are in fun and dignified ways.
And another way to do it, again, in our launching this year our early childhood literacy efforts, we knew that we had to meet them where they are. And you've all heard of free little libraries, right? In your communities, most of you have them. The challenge is that in our communities of Oakland, in the flatlands, in East Oakland, West Oakland, the Fruitville, none of these, or very few, exist. So we wanted to do something that was not necessarily new, but something with how to make it cooler and how to make accessible these culturally appropriate, age-appropriate books by launching these little town libraries. And now we have a goal of creating 150 of these in East Oakland, West Oakland, and communities that have a dearth of resources right now.
Yeah, so we're just at the beginning of this journey, right? We're not even 3 years into Eat, Learn, Play, and we definitely don't have it figured out, right? I think that's a main message. We're proud of a lot of the impact that we've been able to have and what we've been able to accomplish, and we definitely have big plans going forward, but those plans are always rooted in putting community first and priding ourselves on being good listeners so that we're actually meeting the needs of the community as they tell us and not just what we think they need. We're super blessed to have two of the all-time great people as founders and are excited about what's ahead and are just trying to build this village around us to have the greatest impact possible now in Oakland and then eventually, hopefully, nationwide too. So thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.